Okay, well, hope you guys are having a good day. I wanted to, this is a little bit later in the day on May 15th, 2020. I've moved on a little bit further with some of the customs. This is still drying with 5 coats of sealer on it, this Kurt Busch Monster Energy 2019. It's the car, that paint scheme that he won Kentucky with. That one is just about ready for the dual coat, but I wanted to show the painting that I do. So I'm gonna paint that, and we'll choose one of these other ones, probably this one here, to put a top coat on of the car. So basically, what I do is I flip the car over on the metal, the metal die-cast body. Flip the car over, and I put a coat on the underbelly first, a nice full coat on there, and I make sure I get underneath here and underneath here, because when you're spraying on top, sometimes spray on the top, it doesn't cover all those areas. So I like to spray the car on its roof first, and then come back with 2 light coats on the top. This one's black; it's going to be black, so I don't put a gloss coat underneath. I just leave it primed. So let's go over here. For this one here, this is going to be a 2012 pink Ecoboost number 17 Matt Kenseth, and you can see I've already done the underside, a little bit on the sides, a little bit on the front and back. And I'm just going to put a light coat of paint on that. And what I'm using is this Rust-Oleum Paint Plus Primer, Gloss Berry Pink. And this matches the car pretty well, and it's $3.96 at Walmart, and yeah, I've had it for a little while now. And one of the things learning is painting with this, you've got to shake these up. You cannot rush this process. You've got to shake it up for 30 seconds, 45 seconds to get that paint mixed up really well in there before you start spraying it. So let's go over to the paint area, and I'll show you how I go ahead and paint these things. So as you can see, I've painted this before. In an earlier video I showed where I tried to paint it, and for some reason there was a little bit of a bubble, and I had to just start all over again. But I use these little blocks of wood. As you can see, I've been using them for quite some time. I've been painting on these blocks for probably 8 or 9 years, to be honest with you, and I just hold this thing up. You can see all the paint that's accumulated over time, but works out well. I just set the car there, and yeah, make sure this is squeezed so the car doesn't tip over, and I'll shake this up. Sorry about shaking the camera here. I ordered a tripod, so maybe I can get some better footage, a little bit more still than what I've been doing. So I did shake this up a little bit before I started videotaping, so I'm going to go with that. Usually spray, make sure I get that kind of first little match off, and then come around. Nice and easy on that first coat. That's it. That's it. Just a nice light first coat. It's not running. It's not having any problems anywhere. Okay, so I used to let it sit there and dry, but let me show you what I do with this thing while it dries. So bring it over here. Get this out of the way here. I'm going to set it on top of here, let it dry. And what I made, again, years ago, I like to use that phrase, I made this out of, I've done electrical work, so I made this out of a 12 gauge electrical wire, and this allows me to grab the car and bring it over here and set it on there. One's a little bit longer than the other because when you get familiar with these cars, there's the right there in the front wheel well, there's that little metal piece there, and so sometimes this will catch, so I have it at least long enough on the back end so it covers the whole back end of the car. I'll show you as I lift this. So kind of like this. Yeah, I can just reach underneath all of this though. But yeah, that's how I transport the car over from that painting station over to this table here. Just like that. Let that dry, and then we'll put a second coat on it. All right, so let's go ahead and put a coat of high performance enamel on this Gamestop 2014 Evolve. So I just used that one, so let's use this one here. It's dry. Again, I'll shake this up. Let's see if I can set this camera down. Hopefully not spray the camera. Yeah, that's my deep fryer, my turkey deep fryer over there for Thanksgiving time. If you've ever had a deep fried turkey, oh, just terrific. You don't want to go back to an oven baked turkey. But just use it maybe once a year and that's it, so it sits in the basement. Like I've said, I really like the high performance enamel. You know, it's a nice clean spray, goes on uniformly, has a nice quick dry finish. It's just really nice paint. Okay. Sometimes I can do this with one coat because it's so thick. Okay. Hopefully I didn't spray the camera. But yeah, that's probably good with one coat. It's really nice. Nice paint. Sorry, the lighting's not so great on this side. You got to lift that before it starts to dry too much because it'll stick to that stand. Yeah, I mean, as far as painting goes, I mean, I've explored the whole airbrush world, but just never went there. Did the research, and I don't know. I'm content with these rattle cans, so to say, and they work out pretty well. Again, my problem with painting is, and probably always will be, my patience. If I'm content to do a nice light coat, let it dry, and then come back and do a second coat, if the first coat wasn't enough, then yeah, that works out great. Let's put this back. The paint I use for this, I've never used it before. It's a Seaside color, and it's this Rust-Oleum Universal Paint and Primer in one. And believe it or not, I got this at Walmart for $1. They had I guess it was discontinued or whatever, and bought it for $1, and I probably had it for a year. And now I'm using it for the first time, and so far so good. It actually comes out pretty thick, so you kind of have to spray off to the side, like I showed you. You spray off to the side, get a feel for how the nozzles work and how the paint is coming out of the can, and then you go ahead and paint your die cast. So yeah, that's drying. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you in this video. Continuing to work on multiple cars at the same time, and I will probably show you a video, maybe a separate video, of me applying the dull coat, Tester's dull coat, onto this Kurt Busch car, and show you how that goes on to be the finishing touch for that car before I list it. Today's a Friday. I'll probably end up listing it Saturday night, the 16th. Do a 1-week auction, 7 days. No reserve. Probably put it up there for like 10 cents or 11 cents, no reserve, and just kind of let the market and the people who look at my auctions, and let them determine what the going rate is for the car. I expect it to go over $25 just because of the rareness of this car. It's a car that Kurt won in, and a car you can only get in 124 scale, not available in 164 scale. And again, trying to make a custom that is just the best 164 scale car that you can possibly get, or at least on par with some of the best that you can get. So all right, have a great evening. Talk to you later.